Hi guys, this is Tennille from Paper Milkshake and welcome back to my channel. So I thought that today we could do a little cut apart challenge as a craft with me video, but this will also double up as part of AT Studio and Caroline May's MemoryDex challenge, which is to make 52 MemoryDexes a year. Now this week is week 10 and the theme that they have set for this week's challenge are bows. So I'm going to use these beautiful bows that I have from sassyscrappers.com.au. They are this beautiful Maggie Holmes flea market bows, and I'm just going to adjust that camera a bit because it's a little bit off center. It's just not quite straight. There we go, that's much better. So I thought that we could play with this cut apart sheet from One of a Kind and these beautiful bows and basically turn them into MemoryDexes for the MemoryDex challenge and my cut apart challenge because it's a cut apart sheet. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is I basically want a MemoryDex made with 4 of these girls. So let's trim off 4 portraits. So this is the first time I'm making it. I'm just kind of making it up as I go, but let's see how it turns out. And I love her. She reminds me of the singer Sia so much. Really reminds me of Sia. And what I want to do is just trim 4 girls like so. Okay, and then I'm going to actually trim another 4. So I've trimmed 4 each like so, and then all I'm going to do now is I want to create a sheet that will form the back of the MemoryDex card. So I'm just going to measure that out because I want it to be the same size as these cut aparts. At this point, I want to back that onto some thick cardstock because we want it to be really sturdy for the MemoryDex card. So this is a 350 GSM cardstock, which is my go-to thick cardstock. So have a look on scrapbook.com to see if you can buy some. I bought this locally online in Australia. But look, you don't have to go 350, you can go 200, 250, but I would recommend a minimum of 200 just to make sure that this project and MemoryDex card is nice and sturdy. There we go, back that on and we can trim that now. Is now nice and thick, so that will fit quite nicely onto our card. But what I realized is I do need a bottom. I need a bottom piece here to make sure that we can punch our MemoryDex holes through. So what I'm now going to do, how silly of me to have not realized that I needed to do that, is I'm just going to cut another piece of cardstock. Like so, and I'm going to make that a little bit longer than this piece, and I'm going to show you what I will do with that. Sorry, I went a bit off camera just then. So now we have a little bit of bottom piece overhanging on the bottom, which is exactly what we want. I might now grab some of my glitter paper and just measure this part up because I want the bottom to be glitter, because let's go a bit extra. Why not? So I really have no idea how this project's going to turn out, and that's what I have been really loving about this challenge. I just am making things up as I go, and I'm just really pushing my own little boundaries to see if I can come up with some, you know, creative ideas for this challenge. And I have been really happy. I'm already on to week 10. I just finished week 9. Week 9, the topic, sorry, the prompt, I should call it, was stamping. So I stamped that background using my all heart stamps, and I made this MemoryDex card for week 9. Very all heart theme, and I love how it turned out. Back to what we were doing here. Before I got distracted, I am now just going to glue this down. I will end up doing a little bit of sewing, so I don't have to be too particular about the glue at this stage. Okay, and I just want to line that up. I've got my Heidi Swap MemoryDex punch. And all I'm going to do is punch right through, which will be difficult because this is, like I said, very, very thick cardstock. I don't think that's going to punch through very well at all. So it's punched a little bit, but I think I'll just cut the rest of the way through. That might just have to do for now. I'm just doing this a bit off camera, but I'm just getting my scissors and helping the holes, helping that cut through. It's not going to be the straightest, but that's okay. That's all right, as long as it slides nicely on our MemoryDex rails, I'm going to be all right. There we go. Then what I want to do is just stick that on as I had planned to before. There we go. There's basically the structure of our MemoryDex. Just going to do a little bit of trimming on the side there and trim the top of that down. There's a little bit of just excess overhang there. So that is nice and sturdy now. I'm going to save all my stitching for last. Meanwhile, those two 2x2 portraits that we had cut out earlier, we're just going to stick these together now. So the collection I'm using is My Mind's Eye One of a Kind. That's the cut apart sheet. And I have done a whole video, 2 whole videos now, of me using one of a kind, or sorry, hauling one of a kind. And I've made a few projects already and I'm just loving it. It is certainly one of my favorite crafting collections to play with at the moment. I absolutely love the 60s, 70s Austin Powers pink vibe about it. Is that what it reminds me of? Austin Powers. Really fun collection to play with. It's probably currently my next favorite thing after All Heart, and I think Sweet story by Maggie Holmes has finally hit the stores, so I'm sure that will basically be my next favorite collection. Okay, so I think I like this side with Sia on it. So what I want to do is I want to make these into little flaps that you can open, so each portrait will open, and I'm going to stick a little message behind each flap. That's what I plan to do. So to do that, I will now trim my portraits individually. There we go. Now I'm just going to see if I've got my scoreboard handy, which I don't think I do. So I'm just going to have to use my envelope scoreboard for now. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. I just want to do a little score line, just a tiny little score line on top, and I think this part isn't really that necessary, but because we are going to sew that down eventually. Just a little score line on the top, and that's approximately 2 millimeters, 2 to 3 millimeters. Just didn't organize myself enough to go upstairs and get my scoreboard. Okay. Just lining my girls up, and all I'm now going to do is just glue that top strip down, being quite careful now to make sure that I don't have too much glue beyond that score line that we just did. But look, don't be too worried about this, about the gluing power at this point, because we are going to stitch them down. For whatever reason, she's turned out a little bit longer than I want her to be, so let me just trim her down a touch. There we go. Now she's a bit more level with Sia. And let me just measure that out, because I've got a feeling she's a bit long too. Yeah, let's trim her down. There we go. She's the same size now. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and I am going to do some stitching, and all I'm going to do is basically stitch across the score lines that we created at the top, and then these will become flaps that you can open. Alright guys, I've completed my stitching, so here's my row of stitching across the top and another row of stitching down on the bottom row. And the flaps, and I also did some stitching around the bottom, basically to reinforce that piece for the MemoryDex card where the holes are, and each of these flaps now open like so, and that's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. So that's perfect, and it's nice and solid and thick because we have backed it up with another piece behind it. And look what's so fantastic about this. When I open one of them, the girls actually face the same way up on the inside, so that's really cool. And I quite like that they don't close down properly, so you get a bit of a 3D effect with it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is basically pop a little message on the inside of each of these. So I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just going to grab some stickers that have messages on them, and I'm just going to put it on the inside. So this one says keep going, and I'm going to get this one that says you've got this. Look at that, so cute. And everything in this collection coordinates so well with each other. I love my mind's eye, one of a kind. Love it. This one is going to say self-love club. And my last one is simply going to say be kind. 4 round stickers, more or less round. That one is a heart shape inside, but for the rest of them they are round and they are perfect. There we go. We are almost done. I want to put a bow in these girls' hair. I love these flea market bows. I think they're absolutely fabulous. So I also love that they come in an assortment, like a rainbow of colors. Look at them. So I just want to make sure that these don't come off, so I'm just going to put a little bit of extra glue on them. Now the fun part is working out which one goes with who. So because she is like a mustard, like she's got the yellow hair, the beautiful blonde hair, I reckon I'm going to put that mustard bow on her. I think that's going to look so cute on her. In her big tall like 60s high ponytail. Oh my god, that's so cute. High bun, just so adorable. This Tombow Mono liquid adhesive gives me a bit of wriggle room to move things around after I stuck them down. So I've just moved the bow down a little bit so that it clears the top of that. Oopsie daisy, got a bit of glue on that. Okay, I think that she needs a pink bow, I reckon. So let's go with that pink bow there. Love this spotty one. Oh, that is so cute. I love that each of these girls are going to reflect their individuality because they're each going to have a different bow on them. And what do you think Sia should have? I'm wondering if Sia should have this a blue bow there or the spotty bow. I think we're going to go with the spotty bow. Don't these bows just look divine on these girls? I think they are absolutely perfect for this project. Could not be more perfect. And lastly, we have her. I think she could do with this blue one here. Either that blue one or let's have a look. Yep, I think blue would look really nice on her. If you're ever afraid of mixing collections, don't be. I've just matched 2 different collections from 2 different brands. You know, I've got Maggie Holmes and My Mind's Eye together. That's it, guys. That's my MemoryDex card done. Look how cute it turned out. I absolutely loved it. I think this idea was fantastic. So each of these open and there's a little message. This one says, keep going. This one goes, you've got this. We open her up. We've got be kind. And self-love club. Oh, how beautiful. I hope you guys like this project. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and hit like on this video, and don't forget to hit that little bell if you want to be notified each time I upload a new video. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.